Good morning, grasshoppers. Looking good. I can't believe it. It seems like we have very little lag. And we have the right window up. Uh-oh. Okay, good. Very little lag. Do I dare open the Twitch Stream Manager window? All right, we are going to dare open the Twitch Stream Manager window. Crossing our fingers that this works. Good. If I can remember my password. What? Interesting. I hope I don't get locked out. All right, one moment. There we go. Now, new shortcut. And this one is primarily the Brave browser is working, folks. Good morning, BM4723. How are you? So far, so good. It's a smidgen sluggish. We're going to close that window anyway, because we're asking for a lot by having it open. Given that my video memory is already taxed. I only have this open just in case I need it. All right, now we're back. Alisa Melekhina, roughly the same age as Grandmaster Mark Arnold. Who took most of my advice and followed my plan of development, which results in achieving expert in roughly 4 years for young students. The problem I have with most of my students today is that none of them are willing to make a commitment to playing chess on a regular basis, nor are they willing to practice chess on a regular basis. And today, this doesn't just mean regular lessons on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, but it also means study for themselves on Chessable. Now, this makes it possible for even the youngest of students. Chessable makes it even more accessible to the best known chess books. And at the moment, many of them are free. You get free versions of a lot of books, such as Vukovic's Art of the Attack, as it's presented by Simon Williams. Is the music too loud? I'm hoping that it's okay. I'll turn it down just a smidge, just in case the mic is that sensitive. Oh, but this is a miracle that I am up and running thanks to the Brave browser. I have put up my Lichess window in the Brave browser. I am tempted to try to add the accessory for Lichess enhancements, but it does mean that I don't get my translucent board. But at least I get the transparent dojo symbol behind the wall chart of names. As we have the sunrise there, I would call this these are the sunrise events for me. For you, however, they're less than sunrise events. Many of you are in the center of Europe, where it's perhaps 9 hours ahead of me at the moment. Put you around 11 a.m. or noon. Actually, at this point, it might be 1 o'clock. What am I thinking? It's a Saturday or a Sunday. 8:05 in New York City, 4 hours ahead, yeah, roughly noon. Should be 12:05 in Europe. So, Sagi, how are you? AKA, Shock Opa. I suggested him for a raid the other day to a streamer, but they weren't willing to go all the way to Germany because they didn't speak German. But interestingly enough, when you're using the 14:30 in Spain, 2:30 in Spain, aren't you only like an hour after England? So England might be 13:30. So it's 1 o'clock, 5 hours ahead. Oh, the UTC. Exactly. And you are 2 hours ahead of UTC. Indeed, Quadraspassky. All hail. The fellow that I've missed for so long. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Please tell me you're doing well. Unfortunately, on my traveling layout with the laptop, the screen is not big enough for me to have the chat right next to the playing site. It actually could be, now that I think about it. Let me try this. All right. Brace yourselves, everyone. I am going to do what should be considered the impossible. No, it's not going to work. I have to scale down the screen just so at the right dimension in order to expand it in that window. Needless to say, I also need to do a layout, Quadraspassky. I know you may or may not have believed me that I did my own layout, but I need to do a layout that's less intensive for traveling because of all the graphics that I have in the other one. Went from bad to great. That's cool. That's a good problem to have. I hope it's in graphics designing and not something that is far more laborious. Who do I think is going to win the candidates? Unfortunately, I could easily pick the favorite Nepo, but now I'm going to hope for Fabiano to save us from a repeat of Nepo. although I think the vast majority of the fans wouldn't mind the bloodshed that ensued with Nepo Carlson. However, I am actually thinking that whoever wins this particular cycle has a much better chance of beating Magnus the way they are playing. They're not playing that well. I mean, I've known Fabiano since he was 8 years old, maybe a little less because he was so small it was hard to tell. And he was the same age as Grandmaster Mark Arnold, so they grew up together. He, Robert Hess, and Mark Arnold, of course, and a few other guys that like John Bartholomew. They were all young at that time. Oh no, the title is still on poker. Thank you for the heads up. The stream title is still on poker. Uh-oh. I've not gotten the rights or the privileges to move yet. Everyone can see that my screen has become unresponsive. Now this is the video memory error thingy that I was hoping to avoid, that I took extra time this morning setting up because I had this wild idea. Let's see what we can do here. Let's try this. Game, space, chess. The Dutch, Alexi, look at you. This could be Alexi's first win over me in the traveling stream. Very good. We just switched it. Thanks to Rogan Joe Sloan's category and the 3XK yesterday. They basically helped me in changing the stream category yesterday from poker. We did a bit of poker online. It was very sluggish. The app was very sluggish. Pastrami 1923, namaste. Do not try the sound alerts. I don't think they're working on my traveling logo. I need to start gaining some time. Because if I get below 3 minutes on my traveling layout, I'm going to be in trouble. Whoops. This is the immediate loss of a fund. Unfortunately, this spells troubles. Big, big troubles. Will be. And you know what troubles mean. So today, Maria Ho and AKA Nemsko are playing for donations to abortion access here in the United States, which has become more important than ever. And fortunately, there have been companies like Dick's Sporting Goods, and I believe others, but Dick's Sporting Goods made an announcement that they will pay for the safe passage and transportation of any employee for the ability of them to be able to receive the care that they need, which is pretty cool. C.L. Smith, the Master John, how are you? Let's do, first off, TMJ. I forgot about this yesterday, sir. I apologize profusely, although I don't know how much you've been streaming lately. writing these as fast and as honestly as I can. The other day, by the way, SLK Chess stopped into the stream, and I did not give him a shout out. So anybody who is here who has not checked out a lovely young man who actually won an award from Chess 24 for foreign language speaking stream, was quite cool. Quite cool. You're not supposed to do that, sir. Now I'm no longer after your rook. I'm after bigger fish. Well, I'm always up for a collaboration, by the way. Let me get my stuff squared away. I've been experiencing some technical difficulties lately. Basically, I want to follow the Andres Toth means of collaborations, where the collaborators have to have certain talents that you and I may or may not have. That's Andres Toth's language, by the way, not mine. And I believe that he does a expression. I'm glad you couldn't see that on stream if it wasn't there. And now for something completely different. Let's keep up the pressure, as we are still after the big package will be. So this will be a full rook, mind you. The full rook is not what it used to be. This was the plan. And it is going to get much hairier. Hairier and hairier. Not as in Harrier Potters. Not as in Harrier Potters movie. It is going to get mucho hairy. Mucho, mucho hairy. As in almost Hare Krishna, but not quite. Yes. Now, interestingly enough, I do not mind further exchanges at all. I just have to decide how I'm going to go about obtaining those exchanges. Hopefully we will get to the beauty part of this. To the beauty part of this exposure here to the king, as we let him discover upon our rook, the rook that will be checking. You'd love to see one with me and her. Who is her? Oh, your daughter? And now we go for this fun. Now this does put a lot of things in the lurch, by the way. Quite a few things in the lurch. Depending on where this king goes, there are a lot of checks that can be had. And my opponent went the wrong way, because this was the beauty of it. The beauty of it was to allow the pawn a near touchdown for this checkmate with the two knights and rook. We are very lucky to have this one. I kind of like this voice. This evil Smurf-like voice. This Spectre-like, Blofeld-like voice. Yeah, I sort of saw that one coming a little bit ahead when I had to decide upon f3, knight on g to e2, f3, e takes f3, and f takes g2. That was a good one. That was a nice pattern to see well in advance. Let's see if I could tell you when I actually saw it. What move was it? When he played bishop g7, I considered that I have to play c3, e5. He gets to bring his bishop out. He gets to move his king to c8, and then I'm in business. Chessable, by the way, Chessable works. My my Chessable course is being worked on again now, as I am inspired by I Am Hungry, who has not been streaming enough. I'm definitely going to be sharing it with her. It is part of her training regimen, as I've talked to her about it. She is overly concerned with reaching 900, and she is about 846. So it's like, what do you really want to do to get from 846 to 900? After all, what is this? She's brilliant, she is smart, she is enthusiastic, she has all of the qualities of a good chess dreamer. I do not have these things. I am not beautiful. I may be okay in the smart department, but unfortunately I am not beautiful. So therefore I have to make up for it in quality a little bit. You know? Being able to see things on the chessboard, being able to know things on the chessboard, like Liam Neeson. I have skills. I will find you. I will find you. I have certain skills. I almost used that one. I almost used that one in the sound alerts, but I like my raid sound alert best with the James Bond. No, with the Fisher from Inception. That is the one that we should all appreciate, yes? John selling himself short. I appreciate that, Quadraspassky. However, if you see pictures of me from 20 years ago, when I first became a master, I was much luckier in more ways than one. So we're going to follow the AKA Nemsko repertoire. She had a very good statement the other day on the Sicilian, and she likes to play this particular variation of the Sicilian as well. She also, by the way, she also had a little bit of trouble on her stream with the Smith Mora. Me? No, I think not. What do I want to do with this fellow? This is a very early bishop to c4 pronunciation. And the trick here is that I did not allow Can I do that? No, I cannot. I did not allow bishop to b5, booby. Bishop to b5 in these systems. Thanks you very much, Quadraspassky. Can I call you? I think that there are a few people who have endeared themselves so greatly to the stream. But seriously, so many people who have endeared themselves so greatly to the stream, like Conte de Luna and yourself, not unlike Rogan. Quadra, there he is, the legend. Can I do it this way? So, bishop takes f7, check. I just want to nullify that bishop. So here we go. We are off and running in our creative ways. Our ever so creative ways. I want to give that bishop the old heave-ho, the old what for, and the old here now. I am developing Kim. I'm not taking on d4 until it is forever and for really possible, because this is the move that stuffs it. Usually they play a3 on move 11. They play a3 to stop this occurrence, but we are one move off of the normal line. The theory requires a3 to prevent queen to b4. Nice. Now, for the most part, I do want to worry about some things. So I'm going to leave my king in the center booby just for one moment, because I do not want him to notice how I wish to take advantage of his lack thereof of a light squared bishop. Now our queen, as Karpov has said, will arrive on the dark squares. He does get to try to take advantage of me, but if I manage to squeeze the gap a little bit closer, is there a discovery that I do not like? That is the question. Knight e4. Where are you headed, monsieur? I'm willing to probe, and probe some more. Yes, I'm going to probe, but like Paul. Makarbakov. Indeed. I do want to offer you a trade, my friend. I do not want you to feel left out in this equation. Okay. There is a small problem. It will not be that much of a problem, as we are going to exchange the weaknesses. We are going to exchange the weaknesses. Wow. Can he do that? I'm not threatening to take his knight because I have a back rank mate weakness. Is that the story? But I will take it nonetheless. This is getting a wee bit out of control. So his rook is very vulnerable. Knight takes, rook takes. The problem is that he has rook d7, knight b6, rook d8 check, forcing the exchange of rooks. The line I was looking at was knight takes d4, rook takes d4, rook takes d4, knight takes d4, knight to d5. But he always has rook takes d5 as well, returning the material. But that's okay. I just need to gain one little bit of time. What is he after? I think he misclicked. I think he meant to play h3. I do think he meant to play h3. And now what is he up to? We're going to continue our discoveries, as he is going to continue his discoveries. And now for something completely different. Not a big fan of this, by the way, but it is going to have to do. It is going to have to do. We have many more attacks on this position because of the use of our knights and the lack thereof of his. Now let's just make sure that we have more to go, trying to take advantage of such pins, removing the defenders of such things. I am having so much fun right now, you would not understand. You would not understand how much fun I am having right this moment. Do I go after this one or that one? I do have to keep it up, though. I don't have much choice, booby. All right, now things are getting a little bit tricky. Just a little bit tricky. Baccarat weaknesses. The knight has a square. Don't want to be tied down. Que pasta? Whoops. Chess. Is getting one pawn more than he should. You have to decide now what you want to do, Boogie. You do have to decide what you want to do, because you cannot have everything. Do I dare let that pawn get to that square? You gods, folks. This guy is the master of some certain creativity. I have to attack this one. For what it is worth, I need to attack this one. There are some tactical tricks here which I do not like, by the way. I honestly do not like them. I do not. It's getting very, very scary.
Time is running out.
That much is true. I am worried.
Check. 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 Check.
Gotta hustle. Gotta hustle. Like I said earlier, the purpose of studying the end game is not to know the endgame. The purpose of studying the endgame is to know how to handle the pieces so that you can play these positions well. Learning this position, learning that middle game position gives you the patterns which are necessary to be able to play these positions well.
Check. Check.
Wise guy.
Check.
You tried to out-tactic me, and you did. Nicely done, Mr. Ron.
It's a draw.
Pegasus, do not use any sound effects. Don't use any sound alerts while I am traveling. Everything is disabled when I'm traveling. But you have to enjoy playing through the positions. For example, I suggest for you, Rogan, if you wanted to do a study stream, you should do... Uh-oh. I opened up a wrong window somehow. You should do the Capablanca's best endgames. Capablanca's best endgames is the perfect one for you. If you study these endgames, you will handle the pieces better in every situation. Basically, you don't really have to
Time is running out.
I'm trying to close another window, which I don't seem to have open. Who am I playing? Mr. Underdog. We're going to return to our normally scheduled Lawrence Trent programming with knight to c3. One knight to c3. He wrote a chessable book on this. This new coffee brand is amazing. Nice. Coffee and Capablanca. The stream title already. Coffee with Capablanca. Who would have known? For those of you who are not already following Rogue and Joe Sloan, I seem to be slowing down to a crawl. He has been hanging out with Parakovsky. He needs glasses. Can I sacrifice this just so? Mr. Underdog. Mr. Underdog. So my first impression is to trade queens, play bishop g5, and play king to d2. But I think I'm just ahead in development here for one pawn. Right? One pawn, space advantage. I'm not sure what he has, but he does have some things. Where is the queen going? I do not know. Now things are getting a little bit dicey. A little bit dicey, my friend. Check, check, check. Dicey is not just the one word for it. That much is true. Como se dice. Can I do it this way? This is very, very scary, by the way, but we're going for it just because we are here to have fun. We are here to have fun, booby. And now for something completely different. We can't bring the boys home. My opponent knows what we are up to. We are playing with an open hand. Then I can't be bothered rewriting. No, I don't mind the caps lock. All right, now the moment of truth. Oh, you're trying to do that to me. Would you do this to me? Would you? Would you do this to me? Takes, 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 takes. And rook to d4 doesn't work because of knight c6. b4, knight takes d4, attacking my queen with check, having taken a rook, so fair enough.
Check.
It forces the issue. Just a small threat. We will keep this between us. And now for something completely different.
Check.
My opponent really is pushing the envelope. He knows how to push the envelope. He is the master of caveman chess. Caveman chess. Caveman chess rules supreme in my country as well. Basically, I get a rook to the 7th rank. I have two very active rooks, and I have a bothersome piece. So he does save himself. Or does he? How many pawn weaknesses does it take to get to the center of the lollipop? Ah, so he got this and he got castled. These pawn weaknesses, booby. They are not what they used to be. They really are not what they used to be. So now, knight d8 was my original plan, but it gets too fancy. Knight d8 was my original plan, but it gets way too fancy. I don't know that I can win this one. Isn't that sad? I don't know that I can win this.
Check. Check. Check.
Hmm.
Check.
All of the pawns on the same side of the board. Very important. Very important loco. Knowing that all the pawns on the same side of the board gives me a little additional respite. My opponent is good. My opponent, he is good.
Check. Check.
I believe that he pre-moved. You know that? I believe that he pre-moved the booby. I believe that he pre-moved. And he may have given me the chance that I needed to survive. Because my king and rook and pawn are in this game. And his is not.
Check.
Uh-oh. That could have been a blunder on my part. It was a blunder on my part. Well, as they say, when life gives you lemons, you might have to give them lemonade, booby. When life gives you lemons,
Jack.
you may need I cannot survive this because I think I blundered this endgame. This was my last-ditch effort, but it does nothing. It does nothing. My last-ditch effort, his king is in
Time
the
is
square of the
running
pawn.
out. You lose.
But I want to see this. I want to see this. At what moment did I really, really lose it? Rook to e7 check was a blunder, yes? It was not that bad. It was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Rook a7, king g6, huh? King f6, rook a7. If I played the rook to d7, and he has to play rook to f2, because I'm just going to promote my pawn with check. Is that true? Everyone
Check.
pay attention to this one. So here, rook to d7, g2, e7. The reason being that my rook is not in forking distance of my king. It is protected by the queen that is about to be formed. Right? So basically, if he tries to get a queen, then I try to get a queen, and he cannot stop both. So this becomes very unclear. But with my rook on a7, this was not the same because he gets a queen and he takes my rook. He gets a queen, I get a queen, and he takes my rook. Wait, is that true? Now, why doesn't it work here? So on g2, e7, I don't have enough time before the next round begins. I can't run the engine in my current weakened state. This endgame deserves better study. This one is a matter of timing with the rooks and the pawns. Notice how there's no way we could have been prepared for that endgame. That is one where we have to. The 3xk.
Ready.
Gentlemen, ladies, welcome. How come the 3xk is not a mod? Somebody mod him. Oh, wait, that's me. All right, after this, we are going to be visiting the life and games of Uffe Anderson tomorrow. I hope. Uffe. Lauren was asking when the study streams will continue. The study streams will continue as long as morale continues to improve. It is only the threat of the execution. It is only the threat of the execution. This is the threat. Hobbies.
Check.
The threat was to gain the bishop pair. Now that we have gained the bishop pair, what do we do with it? We isolate this boss. We continue the attack. This is not isolating his pawn, by the way. But his pieces are a little bit confused. That much is true. This is now or never. It is now or never, booby. And now that he doesn't have control over that square, I don't think I can win this one. But then again, I think that every single time. I do. I think that a lot of the time. Reaching an endgame where we attempt to pawn storm him. All the pawns are symmetrical except for my extra pawn on the F file. We are going to do something with this. What it is that we do with it, I do not know. Is he really going to let me get my rook into the second rank with a gain of time? I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to allow my rook in there. Therefore, they have a finite amount of time to work with. A very, very finite amount of time. Phobos. 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 As usual, I have no idea how this game is going to be won. but I have only one way to activate my pizzas. I have only one way. Can you imagine that we reached an end game by like move 15? The best of the worst. I think I asked the 3XK if he would be willing to become a mod, a very valued member of the community, the other day. It does require a certain level of commitment, but fortunately for my streaming hours, it is not that difficult. Ruh-roh, my opponent has allowed me the thing that he should have feared the most. What that is, I do not know. He should not have allowed my bishop to get to certain squares. And now for something completely irrelevant. I am very thankful to the 3XK for posting so regularly in our the place. That's the focus right there. Give him a little tickle shot. Rice and I am in Las Vegas. I think it's in the stream description, but there is no guarantee that it is in the stream description. It should be in the stream description. Can I? Should I? Do I? Is it getting out of control here? I do not know. Okay, and now for the moment of truth. This is the problem. Moment of truth. So we have an extra pawn. And we have an extra bishop, booby. Is it enough? I think it is.
Check.
Now what does he do with his extra tempo?
Check.
This is how you clear the path. He was supposed to go back to a3, by the way. He was supposed to go back to a3, so I don't have king c5 because he has bishop a3 check, and then my king has to go back.
Victory.
So if he'd played bishop a3, it would have been a little more problematic to try to get through. But I have a king and a bishop against a lone bishop and 2 pawns. Nice game. With the Caro. Oh no! What? Only 6 rounds? Oh, 7 rounds. Ron, hey, beast mode. Who got him? Oh, that was me. I got him. That was cool. I have to admit, it was very cool. Our endgame wasn't drawn. Our endgame was not drawn. Think about what you just said. Very important to think about what you just said. I've talked to 2 other streamers who I'm coaching about this very, very fact that you cannot say the endgame was drawn. The fact that you thought the endgame was drawn was the seed of your defeat. The game is not over. The game is equal. There are equal chances to screw up. So a game is equal, a game is slightly better, a game is clearly better, a game is much, much better, perhaps even decisive than clearly better. You have to think in terms of levels of advantage, not results. So people say this endgame is drawn, and on a stream I was watching not long ago with I Am Hungry, everybody in the chat goes, this endgame is drawn, and then they make the exchange of pieces that makes it not drawn. Yeah, equal. You lost an equal endgame. But really, fix that thinking. Grandmaster Joel Benjamin and I shared an apartment on the west side of Manhattan for a couple of years, perhaps. I'm not sure how long it was. Maybe it was longer. But whenever I said something like that, the most important thing he said to me was, correct your thinking. Correct your thinking, because you cannot think in terms of namaste. At least those sound alerts are working. At least those sound alerts are working. The Welsh Canadian, Martino, Never End Tales. He is one of my favorites, as I found out that he is actually a fan I do not know that he gets the chance to watch, but he enjoys it when I visit another stream. Or she. I'm not entirely sure. And Bulk Bear, ITV Veer, it'll be very nice for him because the content that we will be streaming soon, if this stream comes out okay, by the way, if this stream comes out okay, then I can stream a study stream. Actually, I can't quite completely stream a study stream because I like to check things with the engine. I'm going to have to come up with a simplified layout for a study stream on the road. Yeah, you were worse in the bishop ending, and you were worse in the rook and bishop ending just by a hair because my rooks were more active. But yes, there's no reason why you could not have perhaps drawn that when I screwed up. Hold on here. May I make you a mod, the 3XK? You are very valued in our community. With your information, he actually sent me the instructions on how to change MoveBot. He has the leg with the check that my game with Ron Hay. Yeah, but I don't have the engine for the most part. I will look at it, but I won't be able to use the engine. Namaste, Pegasus. I am forever indentured to you. Hold on. I need to get the 3XK. I think he told me that he wouldn't mind this, but he's joined the ranks of the elite. Ron Hay, I don't bestow any additional, but Ron Hay has to be moved up the legend list. He really does. If it's at all possible to move up the bits list. Oh no, the gifted subs list. But I have a lesson shortly, of all things. Oh, I plug in my watch to charge. Realize I did not charge my watch. I'm getting so much more done because I've quit a few of my terrible vices. While I'm traveling, I'm not on the TV. I do not turn on the TV. I used to never turn on the TV. But in Memphis, because my internet was so bad that I couldn't stream, I was very out of it. Namaste, the 3XK. Namaste. We'll keep an eye out for people that want to post links so they don't get timed out, as you have in the past, because I know you want to share. And we will see what we can do, yeah? We're definitely going to see what we can do. This is something that we have to do together. The most underutilized bot is ScockyBot. I feel for Dimpool. All that work he puts into it, and it's like an atomic nuclear weapon. There's no way you can possibly use all of these commands. You have to really, really advertise those commands in MoveBot. So I have to set up MoveBot in a way. MoveBot, if you wish to add the command, it is !add command, and for Nightbot, it is add com. I've definitely learned that from you. Add command. So that way, if I want to set a command that I want to make a recurring command that is a part of advice, I will actually set it so that it can go off every 15 to 20. TV plays sing-along. I don't have my grandson here with me if that's what I think it is. Yeah. You don't have time for, oh, you mean on stream? Yes. On stream, yes. So whether lost wages. Let's Let's see if he figures out this city. Yesterday I misspelled Las Vegas. And let's see if he gets the translation. Ready? Weather, Las Vegas. Oh, he didn't. I fooled him. I fooled him. Yesterday, I typed it incorrectly. And he did not get the translation of Las Vegas. And I did it again today. Let's see if I can do it. Yep, he figured it out. 7 out of 8 letters, and he figured it out. 29 degrees Celsius, and that's just even now. Wait for it 3 hours from now. 3 hours from now, we're going to be in the 30s. It's crazy, crazy stream. In any event, I do have to go downstairs to register for the. We're going to play the tag team event today. And I'm hoping to finish another chapter of my Chessable book, which I'm doing here. And I have great plans for the Chessable book in small pieces. They're all going to be free. I am not going to charge for these books. They're all going to be free. And I am hoping that people who get the most out of them will either donate to the stream or gift subs or do something along those lines. That would be very, very cool. That was very, very cool. Did we lose everybody? Murder in Paradise, Part 8, Season 11. Nice chess. Hold on. Hold on. Before it goes away, I'm going to save that link. I can also look it up after you are gone. But my machine has become super, super sluggish. Uh-oh. I don't know if I can watch this in my region. It's giving me a warning. Oi, Arvat, det tomt. You know what? I don't want to translate it now. I'll translate it in Google Chrome. That's what I need to do. Meanwhile, the candidates, it's not a day off, right? It's not a day off. I don't think so. We do not have enough viewers to raid anyone. So therefore, I think that it would probably be best. I need to while I'm waiting for this to come up, I want to make sure I congratulate Ron Hay. in the chat on the stream on the board. Congrats to Beast Mode legendary member Ron Hay. Congratulations, Ron Hay. That was a powerhouse display. A powerhouse display of technique. So Alisa Melekhina, I have this picture of her when she's like this tall, like really barely up to my belt. And she helped me buy in 2004. I think it was 2004. I met her in May of 2000. If you can do the math on her birthday, how old she was when I met her in May of 2000, May 12th, the year 2000. Is that crazy? Alisa Melekhina, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine? All right, what am I doing here wrong? I'm going to close the lead chest window.
This nation knows you huge.
Berta Carlin, thank you. Berta Carlin. Truth and Carlin, thank you for the follow. But did he mess it up? Oh, hold on, we're going back. We're going to try to go back. 1 second.
And keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
I love that. Is perhaps my favorite line in the whole thing. Where's my music player here?
Hey, you. You're forward. How much you can take? The world ain't all sunshine.
We're going back, even though I think it repeats it twice. We're going to look at this legendary endgame between Ron Hay and the 3XK. Part of the turned up music, but we are going to use this as our Get Pumped, Get Psyched mix.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbow. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You need a new button. You're gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not point the finger saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Check.
At this stage, white has a clear advantage because of the misplaced knight on a5. The lead in development by white. White is only going to take 4 moves to finish the opening, and black has an isolated pawn on d7. Just a heads up. I'm not sure what the bishop does on d2. I'm not sure why it was even developed. 3xk, we cannot move the same piece twice in the open. This is an endgame. There is no advantage in you moving this piece twice. There's no advantage in you moving this piece twice. He moves his king in the endgame. He's guarding his... oh, Ron. Ron, don't move the same piece twice. Let me flip this board just so that I can look at it from the 3xk side. But Ron, you shouldn't be playing this way. But Ron has fun. Namaste, Quadraspassky. Namaste. Thank you so much, man. So, hope all is well. Tell me more later. We'll talk. Talk to you soon. So yeah, black is climbing back because of that loss of time.
You're better than that.
Jack.
So we are slightly worse in this endgame. And I'm not sure that I can see. I mean, this is a permanent slightly worse. Ah. Is it no longer slightly worse? This is the same endgame almost. Except that in our game we had 4 pawns to 3 pawns. I mean, yeah, we had 4 pawns to 4 pawns, but I had double pawns. Yes, equal chances. That could have been the last time. When you give Ron an advantage like this, this could be the last time you see daylight. Rook e3 check is extremely obvious because the king can't move so easily anywhere. Or is it that obvious? It is that obvious. Rook e3 check, king d2, bishop takes f3 check. You don't like king to d4 coming later? I don't like f3. You guys are throwing patties at each other? You guys are throwing patties at each other.
Jack. Jack.
So Ron has to improve his pieces and his position by grabbing the space first.
Jack. Jack. Jack.
All right, now moment of truth. What is the seed of the cause that you had trouble here at the 3xk? Probing the weaknesses, keeping the rook active, because the rook on, I guess because the rook is on, the f-file, he cannot drive the king back. So the idea is that we are going to move our rook over and then drive his king out, and then we can gain more space, and he no longer has the space, so then we can bring our king up. Do you see that when I do that on the screen? Nope.
Jack.
So meanwhile, yeah, now our rook is a little passive. Does it escalate? Not quite yet.
Jack. Jack.
Ron is a generous person. I wouldn't doubt if Ron didn't do that on purpose because he's a nice guy. No, Ron is a really nice guy. If he thinks that you made a mouse slip, he is too nice of a guy. Ron, cut it out. For example, in my losing positions, when I blunder horribly, sometimes he offers me a draw. And the most recent time I had to resign But that is because we have not studied the end game enough. If you study the end game, you will not hang any pieces. But if you study the end game for the right reasons, you will not hang any pieces. How's that? I'm wondering if it's even more fatal. In any event, that is a very, very cool game, sir. AK Nemsko was running Flex Friday. I needed to set up a command to promote her brand, WPT Global. Use code NEMO. World Poker Tour Global, WPT Global, and it does not work for me here in the United States, unfortunately. So I want to make up for it by promoting it elsewhere because I am using the WPT. I'm just not using the best version of the WPT because I can't use it in New York City. I need to unload something else before I can do this. And in order to unload something else, it's going to require a lot of work. Is it GM Benjamin Feingold? I think that's it. Actually, that's not it. How do we cancel a raid? Oh, better yet, if the invalid username, or you can send somebody to oblivion. And that would also be good. This is a good friend of mine. He taught with me for several years in New York City. I met him when he was about 18 years old. If someone can do the math for me and message me in the Discord, that would be great. So basically, I knew and met Alisa Melekhina for the first time in May of 2000. May 12th of 2000, it was a Mother's Day for that weekend. And what? Hold on, we can raid Roken. Oh no. What was I going to say? And I met Grandmaster Ben Feingold before he was a Grandmaster or an International Master. I met him in 1988. And I'm trying to picture the month. I believe it was August of 1988. It will not go so well. That's so funny. You are so funny. I'm going to try to click on that link so I will have it out long after the stream ends. Thank you for joining me in the raid. I know we had 5 that could have gone, but of course we only have 3 now. It is inconsequential. I have a login at chess.com. Oh, that's just the announcement. Got it.